Hello everyone and welcome to Damsels and Dice.
Or it's a little dicey.
But this is how we roll. Ooh, that's 5.
That's a 10.
Yes.
Natural 19.
Yes.
This is going to be a good day for me. As for announcements go, planning social media content, that's always a good thing. Actually
we should link our Instagram in this.
Yeah, linking all of our SM down below. And
there's a bunch of accounts, go follow them.
And we're actually in person this time around, so.
Hey.
My arm's a lot shorter than her, so I'm not going to try that.
At any rate, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. So, as a relative recap from what you guys were doing.
I almost went Critical Role. Because I've been watching it nonstop because I haven't played D&D. I was almost like...
We jump into tonight's episode of Critical Role. I wish I could do the eyebrow thing, but I have no control over my eyebrows. Yeah. I have zero control over my eyebrows.
I only have control over...
Thinks about it.
Like, I can't will myself to live the other one.
I have excellent eyebrow control.
She does.
Prove it.
Very good.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. I can't do the other one at all! I can't do it.
I'm just going to control them like it's a unibrow and proceed from there. As a relative recap from what you all have been getting yourselves into from last time, the adventuring party has finished their relative arc in Hhatu Strip, going from place to place, trying to ensure the safety of the sprites, and it seems as though they have accomplished this relative goal. However, new adversaries have presented themselves, as they accidentally, on purpose, were present when the house was burned down of one of the ladies. No, it wasn't their fault, but you're being blamed. A group known as the 11 Spires approached them, saying that they had multiple contracts out for their relative capture, dead or alive, and that they would be willing to overlook these particular contracts as they had relatively minimal meaning to them, if they could help them with a small favor of retrieving one particular individual from the town that they currently cannot enter. The town, known as Alfheim, further off to the east, has been experiencing some interesting homicides of late as the group entered into the city. And as part of an impromptu plan, after they failed to let some of their traveling companions, Jacob and Wyatt, know their particular whereabouts, decided to, spur of the moment, attempt to persuade and intoxicate the guards in a false sense of,
By the way, it occurred to us after the
engagement.
fact, we didn't have to drug ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have to do that. That was definitely...
Like, it was definitely like a thought in the moment. It was like, we should do it because then we're fitting in. But at the same time, like, we definitely could either, like, lessen the dose or, like,
just
some really good performance checks. But instead, we took the poison.
So, fully realized that was not necessary after the fact. Sorry to interrupt, but that was...
No, that was an excellent point. They did manage to get some of the guards together, and after the promise of a single drink, managed to successfully intoxicate the majority of the guards and obtain some what were claimed to be very essential keys. Retired in their room for the evening, where Nora received a note from Citron saying that they were currently in the process of information gathering and that Spice's father had actually been found. After passing out and experiencing a full night's rest, you all wake up early in the morning. It is a dreary, dreary day. There are low-hanging clouds. It's not thunderstorming, it's not raining as of this point, but there's this ominous threat of rain. As the clouds just... There's a subtle distance.
Something's gonna happen.
Something bad. Because literally I have yet to hear Madison describe the weather until today.
That is
So,
false. I
think
it's a
I'm
nice.
gonna
I would say that it's a nice spring morning. There's a little bit of crispness. I've described the weather before.
Yes, you have, but whenever it's raining, it's like, oh,
Well, that's what the rain. That's what the
Foreshadowing.
rain does. Just the threat of rain is present over Alchrein
We're getting
on this particular morning. You'll wake up, Talavin, because you chewed on the herbs the night before on the insistence of your cousin and Talel. You are not suffering any particular negative effects, but you do wake up and you just feel like that moment like your soul is tired. You just open your eyes and your body's refreshed. You know that you're ready for the day. But it's just that
all my
moment
innards are like
everything on your inside is just
dead.
I can't believe you did that to us last night.
Ah.
Nora, you had a little bit of a rougher sleep as you wake up and realize the significance of what it was that Citron, one of your rescued sprite companions, had relayed to you the night before.
whoosh! Is the handwriting the same? Because gosh darn it, okay. We managed to skip last week because she went to the zoo for whatever reason, I don't know. But
I don't know either.
it took me 2 weeks.
Don't go to the zoo. It's
As
terrible.
soon as we ended last session, I was like, what was the Citron? I sent them to the Feywild Council.
And if you go back, you probably hear me like whispering over here.
And no metagaming pigeons.
And Madison gave me the eyes, and so I shut up because I was passed. Because I was passed out.
Is the handwriting the same?
Make an investigation check.
Take
10 to 20. You glance back at all of the different notes and scribblings between your handwriting and Citron's handwriting. Glance back at some of the previous pages. Some of the ink is fading from some of your older correspondence. But upon looking at that in the current handwriting, they are the same. Everyone else is still asleep. Zoom is... He has his covers half on, sprawled out on the bed. You don't see Talel and Jin and Spice as they are currently in the bed asleep.
Okay, they're all asleep.
Everybody's asleep.
Am I awake or am I still dying?
You feel like once you have breakfast, it'll probably shake off, but it's just that morning grogginess is just hitting you a little extra hard.
Okay, I'm just gonna be like... I hear her like... And I'm just like... And I look over and I see her doing this, and I'm like... And I'll open my eyes again.
Alright, you feel that same cold shiver as the telepathic link from her bloodline.
You see mine
Sinks
shiver
into
too,
you.
and I'm like...
There's a little bit of shivering.
Dying.
You snuggle closer into the covers. You just have to be in visual range. All you have to do is just look at her from beneath the covers.
Like, I didn't want to wake everyone else up. But I did have something to tell you. Last night, while you were passed out, Citron contacted me and said that he thinks he's found Spice's father. And that he wants to meet us sometime very soon to reunite Spice with her father. Also, I may or may not have asked them to look into the Feywild Council to get their movements and see if anything is happening.
You just see Talvin's eyes kind of like narrow a little bit, and just kind of like, she gives like a... She doesn't say anything. Like, oh god.
As of now, they haven't told me anything I do not know, but I don't think I will continue them. But we do need to give them something else to do because they insist on paying this life debt. So we need to perhaps find another avenue for them to research. Perhaps trying to find Taldinian.
What?
Taldinian,
You see-
even
you
into
see-
your crusty, forging mind forward, at the mention of your brother's name, your eyes widen instinctively. Just hearing his name just brings an ache to your face, and
Just
scars
brings-
present.
I'm just gonna kind of like... I don't think that would be a good idea. But I don't know. I can ask Malik about it, but I don't know if that would be... I feel like that'd be putting them in a lot of harm's way. He's not like a super great team right now. I'm sure there's other things that we can have them help us with.
Like what we're going to
I
be
don't
doing,
know.
like a prison break.
Maybe what
perhaps?
we're doing right now.
Nah, that would be
Blood
so-
oaths, life for a life. Like if we don't do this, we die. Maybe help us not die.
Should we contact them now and try to meet them today? To
I
meet.
mean, I think the sooner the
Spices.
better. And that would definitely get spice out of harm's way sooner.
That would be good.
Although I was definitely not hoping she wouldn't find her parents so that Talal and Jen adopted a daughter. But it's okay. I'm glad she has her dad.
He did tell me that her father is one of the wingless now. His wings were removed, so we need to kind of reiterate that to her.
Oh.
Yes,
I
because she
never
doesn't
told her
know.
her dad is in what?
No, she was asleep last night.
Okay.
We didn't want to keep her. Jin knows,
Okay.
but it's just you, me, and Jin that knows. So I think I will contact Citron and ask them, and perhaps ask him to bring a few other assisting sprites.
We definitely should definitely like lay out what would be the best for this kind of magic for. You know, everybody's different.
Well, we could lay out the situation,
And they might have some ideas too.
Yes, because they are quite capable.
Yes, they
The
are
sprites
quite
are
capable.
capable.
We just don't want them to die, so we just pretend that they're not
I
capable.
just don't want to be responsible for it. But I don't doubt their capability. Of course not. Alright,
I just don't.
so I'll go ahead.
I just doubt their hit points.
Ouch!
Hit points.
Ouch!
I will not repeat that. To that. So for today, meeting them today would most likely be the best.
Yeah, I think the sooner the better.
Yes.
Because I mean, like, how many days do we have left, Madison? I don't know.
You all,
I can't
when
remember.
you initially signed the contract, you all had like 11/10 days because whenever you woke up the next morning, you all had 10 days. It took you 3 days of travel in order to get to Arkham. And then from that point
I had
on,
it
you all
written down
had
somewhere.
you had a full 7 days once you arrived. Your first day was finding out that you were surprised, quote unquote, engaged, but not really to Jacob.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first of your 7
And this
days,
is the
and
second
then
day.
drugging everybody in the evening. So now you also have this collection of keys. Today is the 6th day.
Which you need to tell us about. Tell me
By
about.
the way, while you were drugged passed out, I got some information. We should not have done that, by the way.
Yeah, no, probably not.
We also need to figure out if they come after us
We
today.
made a mistake.
What we're gonna do.
Yes.
Like, who's gonna take the fall for it if they want to arrest somebody?
I think we should try to not take a fall, but I
I'm
will
just
try
saying.
to charisma my way out of it. But, let's see. Well, Wyatt can pick rocks, but that probably would be very traumatic for him.
Yeah, I feel
To
like that
be
would
arrested.
definitely be very traumatic for
Um,
him. I think the person that would get like the least amount of trauma in this would be me. Just saying.
That's alright. So you and I could either take it. I think it would be more convincing if it was my plan, if you blame me, if it has to happen, because I was the one who was not almost kissing Jacob on the ground.
Do I remember what happened the night before?
There's not a memory check, but this would be recent history, so go ahead and make a relative history check.
Nora did see
Well, my
that
history is
guy.
actually, but you haven't, yeah.
This is very recent
Because it
history.
was happening, but I wasn't actively saying.
What is it?
Don't.
That's a natural one. You're not sure if she's telling the truth.
So I'm probably just like, you're
You're-
funny.
Anything. I mean, everything. It just seems like this constantly swirling and liquefying message of set of images going through your head. It could very well have been possible, but there's that slight bit of denial in the back of your mind. You're like, could that actually have happened? And then you're like, I do remember seeing his face a lot in these images that are coming through. You're not sure what the sequence of events was because everything just kind of feels muddled, but it could very well be possible. Although she could be pulling your leg, it's hard to tell.
I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So it may be the most convincing if we said it was my plan. If we have to.
Yeah, but I don't feel like.
We could just see who they come to
Yeah, I guess that's true. Who knows? It could be. I don't know. I don't know really who else it would be. Besides, like, me or you, really.
All I know is that I made eye contact with the chief.
The. It was the one. No, I have it written down.
My notebook is upstairs.
The chief.
It wasn't. Yeah, I know, but you were chatting with the deputy. The deputy.
I talked with the deputy and I got these keys.
Oh, look at these keys. Where should we put them? In case one of us gets taken away.
Oh, right. We should put it in a place where we know, where all of us know where it is. Alright, so I'm going to open up the. We're still linked. I'm going to open up the.
Take out the leather-bound journal that you enchanted with all of the other sprites during your week with them staying in Citron's home.
Super dope vision.
He had a very wonderful home. You take it out and the pages still crisp,
such a
so wonderful.
seen part of their civilization, I would definitely have him just help us forever. Just like, just saying.
Is that Talavin?
Yes. And Sophia.
I guess he
You
is
never
quite
got one from her.
distinguished.
Yes.
I pull out the notebook and I open it up. Oh wait, no. Did I show you? I have it.
You told me a little bit.
Yes, I have it out. And I'm going to write greetings. After discussing the situation with Talavin, we think today would be a good day to meet. How do you need to find our location? What do you need?
We can meet him out. I think it would definitely be best if we met him outside.
Well, they need trees.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we should go the way we. I definitely don't think all of us should go. It should just be like me and you. Maybe.
Before we tell everyone.
Should you just dip out right now?
Just dip
Before we tell
out.
anyone.
Dip.
No notes.
Don't tell anybody where you're doing anything.
That's actually why we poisoned everybody. So that I could get away.
You also gave him some herbs too.
Yeah, shut up. Oh, damn it!
He also received the antidote.
We're not that cruel.
Was it like, just pretend like this was our plan to us to get away from everybody. And we were trying to get away from them because they, I don't know, kid.
It's very likely they'd end up arrested in that situation.
Yeah, that would actually be terrible. Sorry, never mind.
Arrest them! Alright. So yeah, I said that to Citron, and then also,
Just tell
If
them
the-
just
if
give
this-
them the deets.
yes, I'm like, I would like to call upon your assistance on the matter of the blood contract to help us get out of this, or to help us fulfill this requirement. And then I'm going to write out the details of things that we know, like, hey, we have these keys, and the dude's like at the lowest level. I'm not writing this very formally. Nora does not say dude.
Yo.
My dude.
man.
Yo, what's up, man?
So basically, she's just gonna go through and just be like, this is what we need to accomplish. These are some things that we might need assistance with because no magics. And if you got anybody that can help
Yes, stealth ops, sneaking, invisibility, any.
dispel magic,
Yes, just
unlock doors,
charm person.
that too,
That would be very.
invisibility, can cast invisibility on others.
Yes, so I say that
Yeah, we're like, I'm linking with her over
what
there.
you're doing, what you're actually doing, as you're linking, you're actually getting closer and closer out of the bed, and eventually you end up just you end up sitting on the edge of the bed. Nora is actually sitting in the bed, and both of you are writing simultaneously in the book, one over the other, just writing all of these notes, and you're like, oh, don't forget this, and then you write something as she comes to a pause. It just ends up being this combination effort, and you end up filling up actually 2.5 pages of both of you writing in simultaneously of that. Just because I'm curious, make just make a performance check. Just
You want
because,
to
just
do
in
with
case.
advantage? Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna, because I have good
Or no, each of you get one performance check.
15.
14 and 15. Okay, so your handwriting doesn't look atrocious. As you guys are writing, you're writing over top of one another and filling in different details, and you're like, oh, we can't forget this. Oh, we can't forget this. As you're going through this blending process.
Also mentioning that we might get arrested today.
So yeah.
If we're not there right at that moment,
We might get arrested for drunken disorderly behavior.
Definitely called for a lot of good information. Good to know that you are being very specific.
very.
What the fuck?
There's about a 5-minute gap, which sets you all slightly on edge. As there's this very long pause.
He's probably like, these two are fucking psychos.
What did we
Like, why did it have to be
Eventually,
these
you
two?
begin hearing scratching. You can actually watch as the handwriting begins
He's probably
filling
watching
in.
this just like...
You can only imagine what happens on the other side as he's watching all of these different things just come at different points, and he has to go back and check to make sure he's not missing anything.
Yikes.
You can imagine him going through this very, very professionally.
Oh,
But you do eventually see his handwriting. After a moment, you all begin speed reading as he's writing. Very good to know. Lots of encouraging information. It seems that you all have managed to get yourselves in yet another conundrum. You have asked for assistance, and it shall be provided. There are a few individuals who come to mind when you... these specific requirements, not only of a certain amount of discretion, but also your the necessity of persuasion and so forth. There are a few individuals who do come to mind. I will notify them. How many people do you think you would like to bring with you, as this does seem to be a quieter operation? You can actually see there's a very subtle pause as he's writing. Before, as he's trying, he's very diplomatic. He's a very diplomatic individual. And you can definitely see there's a single drop of ink as he's finding the right words as he's writing.
It's okay, just lay it out there, buddy.
Hopefully will not be arrested or detained in any particular manner, however, as long as a sketch or some kind of direction to this particular location is provided, I am certain that we'll be able to find you.
I can do that.
We may be able to gain some kind of assistance in nearby areas. We actually have someone who's familiar with the city who can bring us there. Any word on Spice? Has she been able to understanding that information? How is she feeling? I understand that can be a bit of a traumatic way to break this, and I'm sorry that this has been placed on both of you, all of you actually. One final note. Upon your request for better surveillance of the council, additional information has been procured. Do you wish this information to be conveyed in written text? Or would you wish this to be communicated upon our meeting?
So we're gonna say 2 or 3 individuals would be appreciated for our particular operation. Spice is still sleeping. We wanted to tell her once she woke up, but we will tell her the information delicately. As for the information on the council, I would prefer to get that information in person.
This can certainly be done. I will be sure to forward this information to the appropriate individuals, and they should be with you within a few hours.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Where are you currently? And where is the target location.
So we are in Alarin. We are staying in the. Gonna have to find it in my note.
We're gonna have to go outside the
Topaz wand.
because there are no trees in this.
Yeah, we're doing the emerald wand. We're in the emerald wand.
Topaz.
Topaz. We're in the topaz wand, and I'll do a sketch of like what the outside looks like in case like this is what it looked like. And then do I have like a general sense of the town, like where we entered and like how to get to?
How to
Like
get to
if
where
I
you
was
are?
to
Yeah.
like do like a general like this is where we entered. This is kind of a general way to get there.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
like
you would
do a
have,
little mappy.
you'd have a general idea.
I'll do a little general
of where-
mappy of the
where everything
areas I
is.
know. And then I'll be like, I think we should meet outside
Outside the town
in this particular area. I'll point out somewhere.
So they don't need to sketch out the trees.
Yeah, no, we're just like,
There's one tree, like very.
but it's just in case like we don't show up, they know where they are in accordance to like where they were gonna meet them. And this guy, and then I'll also on my little map be like, this is where he is. And it's a really small one-story building, and he's down below.
Mhm.
And then I'll also write in a description of what he looks like that we were given, and his name, and when he is needs to be. In case we just get arrested and they have to like come save everything. We'll just give him all the deets. We trust Citron.
We trust you, Citron.
As long as it's the same handwriting.
All of a sudden,
I only trust handwriting.
Terrible.
Very well. If you do happen to be apprehended, do try to keep this notebook ledger with you. Sometimes you're able to smuggle various things into various areas. I do not know very much about the judicial system of the particular location you are in, but if you can find a way to have some way to make contact with us, should everything go awry, it would be optimal.
Yeah, but we also have to be careful. I don't know if we should have this notebook with us. If we were to get arrested and they find this notebook, anybody can just open this bitch up and read it if he writes something in here.
I mean, it's not my legal.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying we're trying to break somebody in their prison out.
Oh yeah.
And if they were to mention in the notebook as they open it up, hey, how's this dude doing? We're on our way to help you break them out. They'd be like, oh wow, all our plans are fucked again.
Like I said, you guys were very detailed.
Yeah. In the book. Oh shit. Oh no, it's in the book. Oh, it's in there, and it doesn't disappear for a few days. Oh, fuck. We gotta go bury this book outside. Right now. Eldritch Blast! I know, but it'll put a hole in it. Force damage. Disperse.
Okay.
I have fire somewhere. Hold on. I have fire.
Can I just
Hello from me.
ink out the?
Just pour it.
Inflict wounds.
Okay.
Destroy the book. Like, break this book. Break this journal.
Bro, I could keep the book with me, but this is me talking. We can keep the book with us, but we should probably tell him to copy down the information we've provided, and then we can just ink it out.
Okay, yeah.
Ink out what we've already done. Just dip the whole page in ink. Does that sound?
Or I can just use my paint and just. Cause I got some black paint.
Yeah. Yes.
So we don't like douse the book in ink and maybe potentially ruin it.
Well, I didn't read the whole book.
I'm just saying.
Hang on. So what time did he say? He didn't say time.
He didn't say time. He just said
He said
within the next few
within the
hours.
next few hours,
Okay.
they would make contact. The people who he feels like would be a good fit for this particular.
So next few hours, I'm going to say, I will keep this notebook with me so that we can contact each other throughout.
Ah, shit, balls.
But I'm gonna scribble right. Oh shoot!
Oh, shit, balls.
Zoom.
That's why I said, Oh shit balls.
He gets up. He starts awake.
Okay. Go ahead and you like look
I'm just be like, just a minute. I need to put some clothes on. Just a
Open the
minute.
door.
copy down this information immediately.
And then blank it out.
I'm gonna blank it out.
I'm gonna throw some paint at you as I'm like walking to the door. Like, and I'll stay linked with her. FYI.
I'm blanking out all the pages. I'm like, wait.
I'll like stand by the door and like pretend like I'm trying to open and like the key's not going in or something. I don't know.
Make a performance check.
Oh no. We should perform it.
Oh no. 17.
Oh god. She's rolling.
Okay. Am I done blacking out all the stuff?
Make an dexterity check.
Ah! Oh, 10?
I'm gonna link her and be like, put it in the bag of holding, put it in the bag of holding.
You accidentally spill some of the ink on some of the other pages. It begins bleeding through some of the other information, some of the other pages.
It's not
are
ink,
just
it's
being-
paint.
She did
I said black paint.
When did you get black paint?
I thought I got some at that inkwell store.
Whenever she did.
I said I wanted to get
Ink.
But
That's
I
ink.
wanted paint
Okay, that's
for
fine.
my sketching book.
That's fine. I'm
It's
just gonna
all ink.
I'm gonna
I was like, when did you get paint? That's ink.
Shit.
You got bottles of ink.
eat
Dagon.
And it is leaking through some of the other pages, and you close the book, and you shove it into the bag of holding. And as you
I look
open the door,
tragic. Like I just look like as I'm like walking, I'm gonna like fuck my hair up a whole bunch and like.
make a deception check.
I mean, I probably look pretty tragic though.
Oh, that's not good.
Make a what?
Deception, because you woke up and you felt fine. You felt there was a part of you that felt tired, but with this surge of adrenaline, you are trying to make yourself look worse off than what your physical body actually is.
I'm gonna put that at an 8.
It's an 8. You pull out some of your braids on one side. You tear up one side of whatever you're wearing. Just,
I still wearing that same dress from the night before.
you didn't change. You passed out. You just rip up.
I'm gonna like as I like threw her the paint. I don't know. It makes it look like I
Oh,
had
you
a rough
put
night.
ink. You put ink on yourself. Oh, good to know.
Now we're trying.
You open
And
the
Nora's
door.
like, that's my idea.
You open the door and you do see Dagon Nelter, the chief, currently standing there. He has on his formal armor, leather worked, his pauldron lined in metal framing.
He looking hella
Young,
unofficial.
he has that kind of red auburn hair. He seems very tight-lipped, just kind of very, very thin lips. Eyes naturally glance at you. Seems slightly skeptical as he looks. Morgan, I hope I didn't disrupt your evening activities.
No, we just woke up. I was just recovering, mostly.
I see. With your single drink. I would hate to be an imposition to you and your fiancé, but I have some questions for you and him.
Of course.
His eyes peer past you and see Zoom, who's currently still, like, in the bed. He's like, listen, your fiancé is alright with this? He glances over and sees you, who are still in the bed.
I literally just envisioned Willie and the Wonka family, like the old people, all together.
No, y'all have separate beds. Y'all have separate beds.
Yeah. I'll just be like, bodyguard. He stays with me always. But yes, no, he's in the room down the hall.
I know. We've already taken him in.
Oh, okay. Do I right now? Or can I change? I have yet to do so.
Make a persuasion check.
Natural 15. Persuasion. Where's my persuasion? It's
Oh, it's pretty good! 21.
21. Be swift.
okay. I will.
He steps away from the door, and as you glance out of the corner of your eye with your relative passive perception, you do see that there are 2 or 3 other guards there who look like they've been boxed about the ears. They're looking.
Oh.
They probably had some kind of scolding, some probably follow-up scolding. Based on their relative demeanor, they are pressed and ready and attentive, toe to the line, as you close back the door and
So we're taking you in. Okay, so we decided that.
Yeah,
We're
okay,
linked.
okay.
We're still linked.
You gonna have to get this
Zoom.
shit done. I'm gonna like immediately start like going through my clothes
Yes.
and like
Zoom.
getting clothes out
Oh,
and fixing myself.
Okay, I'm still
Because I
going
can
to go.
I can only do one person at a time.
Yeah.
So I'll link with okay.
Before you go, I'm gonna say like I'm still gonna go out to meet the sprites.
Yes,
and
you
do
should.
the thing. I'm gonna take the sprites with me.
Okay. Yes, definitely.
You should take some. You just
Should
said
I
you
though?
just
Okay,
said
yeah, no, I
you-
just said he's my bodyguard. So then now link with him and be like, you're my bodyguard. Get dressed. We gotta go. And then I'm gonna get dressed.
he hurries and gets up and starts putting on his armor over top of. I mean, he doesn't have a plethora of clothes. He has the one suit that
I'm
you
saying
all
like I don't have
ended
a
up
leather
making.
one.
You
I
all
have the
ended
same
up
one, pants
making.
and white. I'm gonna put on the dress that the regular dress that I bought. The one that I just bought the day before.
The skirt and
Yeah, so I'm not in my.
Your armor. Good to know.
It's really a bad idea. Hold on, I'm gonna think about this for just a split second. Shit.
Just wear
I
your
will.
clothes.
Yeah.
Don't be attacked.
I don't have anything. I'll have my hairpin in, and I will have my deck. No, that's probably a bad idea. I shouldn't have a dagger on me. They might search me. I will have my crystal dagger necklace on.
Okay.
And I guess I'm not going to, even though I want to put my braces on, I will not do that.
Okay.
Even though I really want to, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that.
Jin, at this point, Jin and Tala both peer out.
I'm gonna say.
Jin,
I'm just gonna.
what's going on? What's going on? Is everything all right? Jin flutters closer.
Stay back.
Look, what's going on?
I'm very quiet. Wait. Okay. Intelligence check.
Hmm.
Can they hear me through the door? But how quietly I'll be speaking?
Make an intelligence check.
Because this dude, I feel like he's.
How about this? I will just link with her.
Hmm.
I'll be like, we need you to stay hidden. I know, I'm sorry, but that was really sudden.
This is very.
With all the things that we did last
I
night,
see.
they're here to get me, and we cannot have you all be seen.
Right.
So
Okay.
hopefully they don't take Nora. Hopefully you will be with her, but do not be seen.
What did you take her?
Meet Citron outside.
You've been in contact
Yes,
with Citron?
I can't. I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm sorry. He is going to
Oh,
bring.
sorry, I don't mean to look. Good.
I'm behind the. Oh shit!
You have to have eye contact.
Just do it. Just.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just like. We're meeting Citron outside the in this place, and I tell
Your
her where it
headband
is.
is crooked here. Let me. Goes
Okay.
over. Sorry.
I'm like, meeting Citron at this place, they're bringing Spice's dad. I know you know about that. Make sure she knows about it before he just steps out of a portal.
I will. I will be certain to do these things.
And they're bringing along a few extras that were going to help us get this
Really?
guy out. Yes.
All
I
right.
don't know who, but he said within the next few hours we're meeting at this location.
All right.
And if we didn't show up, I did give them a map to this place, but they don't know which room. Okay, let's go!
She flies back and pushes Tala. We need to be quiet. We go off over to the side.
Okay. Whenever she opens up the door, I'm going to like also stand behind.
I would just see him dead.
Well,
And
I
so
need
like,
to
I'm
act-
not cutting.
I know. I don't need to act concerned though, or like just kind of behind. Like, wait, have you stood up and opened the door yet?
Yeah.
You're
I'm like-
heading to the door.
Yes, I'm like walking
Heading
to the door.
Hand on the knob.
I'm gonna link with you. I'm gonna stay directly behind me at all times, like bodyguard.
That I can do.
Yeah.
You open the door. He's still
Do you know how long this is going to take?
Hopefully, not too long.
I love when Madison does that because it makes it so much more like you're so fucked.
Well, kind of, but yeah.
Do you have all of your things?
You want me to bring all of my things?
Whatever you might need.
I was just gonna leave my things here, but I can bring them if you want me to.
We might come up with additional questions.
Okay. I will bring my
Pack. And I will. I think that's not like I have most of my shit in my bag.
You as well.
Oh, she's coming too now? No, I'm like, was that what he was insinuating? Oh, God, fuck. I say my mind like too soon.
Well, I didn't realize I was going as well.
Based on the relative account of a few individuals, you were present last night. Just want to get a few things cleared up.
Oh. Well, am I dressed?
Yeah, she would have been like jammies though.
She's in her jammies.
Well, I would like to change as well.
I'll step outside with you though.
I'm going to take from the bag holding, I'm going to put the citron journal
Mhm.
in the bag with the sprites, like give it to the sprites so that way they know.
Hmm.
That's the last thing I do.
The bag's not very, very big.
I thought it was like a satchel.
No,
No,
it's
it
like
was part of a saddle bag.
small.
It's like a-
It's a
it's
small
like a
part of the
small-
saddlebag.
Yeah.
So they have to vacate, but it's fine.
Fine, put it there. I'm gonna go. I'm leaving.
All right. You see his hand raised to knock on the door again as you.
Well, just didn't misunderstand.
It's all right. You hear from behind the door. Come with us. Gestures for you to walk with him.
We shall.
And you're walking.
Proceed.
You proceed down the stairs of the establishment and walk out into the streets and just begin walking your way actually to the prison, the Shagabel prison. It's early in the morning. Those same low-hanging clouds are just swishing, swirling in the sky. You hear very, very distant with your passive perception, these just very faint thunder rolls in the distance. Another thing that you notice with your passive perception as you hurriedly got dressed was the bit of ink that was smeared on your hands as you went to close the book and place it into the bag of holding.
Weird.
There's some ink on your hands. Some of it is smudged very slightly on your armor. As you all, step after step, just walk in silence, and Dagon leading the way.
Like, help me with this.
Yeah, if I do magic on you, they're gonna kill me. Really? Just saying. Like I'm not one to like just. I'm all about.
Are you guys
saving
walking
people.
and talking?
No, I'm just telling Nora. But no, I'm not gonna say anything. I'll just kind of look at her and just be like, look back a little bit. Not even look back, just kind of like, who's around us? Like, are we walking in front of them?
Dagon is leading the way up front, and then two guards are behind you, and then one of them is kind of walking alongside you.
Where's Zoom?
He's
Directly
as
behind
as directed. He's just behind you, off your left hand shoulder.
I've used prestidigitation before, so I would know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like it's just like a light glow with my hand, isn't it?
Whatever it is that you're prestidigitating, kind of has this little like a little air mister.
Like, is it super obvious though? Is what I was saying.
You could try and roll a stealth check. I mean, you haven't really paid attention to how stealthily you can actually do prestidigitation.
Yeah.
So.
Like, but I would know. Like, does it make a noise?
It doesn't make a noise.
It's not super like
but
flashy.
there's a visual element to it.
Okay. I'll just kind of like, because I have passive perception. I probably notice this, right?
What's your passive perception?
It's not as high as Kinsey's. 17 though.
17. You would probably see her messing with her hands as she looks, and that's whenever you'd probably notice.
And so I'll like nonchalantly, just slowly, just like walk closer to her, but not like lean in any way, and maybe see her fidgeting, and just like look like I'm laying like a reassuring hand on her hand, and prestidigitation. I know that they're gonna see my hand go for her
Make
hand.
a sleight of hand check.
What if sleight of hand? Just be like, oh,
You're
it's
trying
like
to do
sneak
this subtly because they're going to notice.
Oh man,
Yes, you
my
notice.
sleight of hand is terrible. Ooh. I'll say as I say, I'm just like, it's fine, calm down. No need to fidget. And then I'll press the digit in her hand. Oh well. They
When-
notice, like, they're gonna notice because I
When you
rolled
do
an
this,
8.
you say, you hear one of them. What was that?
And I'll
What was that?
still like.
Dagon
holding her
also
hand.
turns around his eyes and pick this up. All of them notice.
I still have my ring on, FYI. I never take that off. I forgot to mention it, but I technically never take it off.
Your
The one that
shield.
Mallet gave me.
Yeah, your
The
shield.
shield ring. I just want to
Yeah.
lay that out there.
Yeah,
Just FYI.
I know.
Okay. I didn't know. I gotta be specific, okay?
You gotta be
Because
Pacific.
sometimes you'd be like, oh, did you have that on? And I'll be like, and then I'll be like, well, I mean, I don't take it off. And you'd be like, roll an intelligence check. And then I'll get a natural 1. And you'd be like, you put it in the bag of holding, didn't you? And I'll be like, yeah, I put it in the bag of holding. Didn't I?
Yeah, probably did.
I probably did.
Oh
The DM knew. God damn it.
no. They're all looking at you now expectantly.
And I'll just hold her hand and I'll be like, she visits when she's nervous.
Make it a deception check.
Yes,
Why are all of these all the ones that I'm terrible
Can
at?
I not be like, yeah, I do. I'm a little intimidated by being dragged out of
Oh,
my
that's not
room
bad.
in the
That's
morning.
not bad. You said what?
Deception. 19. They look at you and they're like, regardless of the fidgeting, your hands just.
My hands glow and I'll do healing hands. And I'll be like,
They
it's
go for
just
their
a-
sword. Like,
it's just
what
a
is
healing.
this?
It helps her relax.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Dagon at
I
this
do
point
it- I do-
steps
I
forward.
apologize.
a
I
couple-
do it naturally with her. We've been
He
together a
steps
long time.
forward to you. And he's not a very large man, but in this particular instance, he's very imposing. His presence, his force of will is very forward. And takes your hand and lifts it up and looks at the one that you were just grasping. And he turns it and says, "Why did you feel the need to clean the ink from your hands?"
Oh my god.
Why is this big perception? Like, what the fuck?
He's captain of the
Side
guard.
effect.
He's
I don't care.
chief. He got there for a reason.
It's a side effect of the spell. It's actually a cleansing spell that also has healing properties.
Make a deception check.
With advantage since I showed up.
Why is there deception? Is your deception good?
Yeah. 18.
What the fuck? This is really good.
18 base.
I need to like start now I can see Nice dice.
Mm-hmm.
Start seeing what she's rolling.
Then why wasn't it cleaned off in the room? You could have cleaned your hands whenever you were getting dressed. Why did you feel the need now to calm her
She wasn't
and
nervous
clean her
before.
hands?
It's just a
I mean,
side
we were-
effect.
We were rushing. We didn't want to make you wait.
More than we already did with you wait. And we're making you wait now.
He looks and points to the 2 guards. Please escort her.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. They begin escorting you. And about 50 feet behind, saying, "We're going now." He begins walking.
So they just like,
As they're walking, he looks at you and says, "You feel the need to heal that eases people's nerves."
Yes.
Prove it.
Oh god. Well, shit. I mean, all I have is healing hands, I guess, or cure wounds. Well, let me look what I have as a cleric. Hold on. I mean, I'm not, and then I'll tell you what I'm allowed. How many different spells for cleric? Sorry. I mean, I usually just have cure wounds and inflict
And
wounds.
healing. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
just do. I
If
mean, I
you
guess
are
I'll do
walking-
healing hands because that's a little bit more magic-y than. So I'll do how many? And I'm a level 5, so I can do 5.
You can do five
Up to
points.
5?
Up to 5 points.
Um,
But that's all you have for 24 hours.
yeah. So I will do. I kind of want to do it at a boosty-ish, so I'll do 3.
Okay. You touch, and there's this arcane glow. It looks. Make a performance check.
With advantage.
I'm so proud.
My performance is such trash because my charisma is garbage.
Why? I felt
And my dice are garbage! Oh man, that's only a 12.
12.
Because 9 plus 3 is 12.
I'm familiar with the healing magics. I've worked very closely with the clerics since taking my current position. If that was meant to soothe nerves, calm the mind, help in some way, shape, or form, I'm not impressed.
You don't seem like you're on edge.
His eyes narrow. I'm good at hiding my emotions.
Do you want it?
He stops you and Zoom as you continue going forward. He says, "Tell me, how long have you been with your fiancé?"
How long have we been engaged or how long have I known him?
Both.
Oh man. Well, I've probably known him 3 years, but we've probably only been engaged a few months.
And how did you meet?
In a fighting pit. I was beating the shit out of somebody. If you ask him, he'll probably tell you that I ripped his throat out. Don't believe everything you hear.
Interesting. What's this person's name?
The person that I ripped his throat out?
Yes,
Nicholas.
I see. And how did he propose?
Oof. I don't say that out loud. This is Sophia like, dream proposal, don't have one, no idea. Come up with a spur of the moment proposal. What would Jacob do to propose in Talavin? We were just out on business and we were, I don't know, training and I don't know, beat him up and he just proposed. He just said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with me. And I told him that I wanted the same.
I wonder if your cousin would tell the same story.
I mean, she wasn't there, but
No?
I mean, we're not always together, but we do travel together.
Would it behoove you to know that your fiancé told a little bit of a slight variation of what you just told me? And when I say slight, I'm being generous.
We always have our different opinions on things.
Really? I would say an historical account of various events that took place wouldn't necessarily differ very much in key details, such as instead of being, in combat, instead being in a picnic by the lake.
I'm gonna go with either battle or picnic. God damn it! I'm such a not romantic. I'm such a
Where in the
ass.
wine that he happened to make, he had placed the ring in the bottom of the glass, and you just so happened to notice your eyes misting up.
Talavin's internal. I'm just kidding.
I'm extremely screaming.
That is the most cheesy shit I've ever heard in my life. said Sophia.
Does that surprise you that your fiance told a different kind of events, or is he just brain damaged?
I mean, you shared a few bottles of wine. We'd had quite a few picnics. He didn't give me a ring on the day he proposed.
Really? Then what is that?
I said he didn't give me a ring when he proposed. He didn't say he didn't eventually give me a ring. But
So now
to
he
me,
gave you 2 proposals
I mean, I got several.
from the same individual.
Yes, I turned it down on several occasions.
That
Because
wasn't
we were
his story.
business partners. And I didn't want to ruin our business.
Interesting, because he says he's only known you for 4 months.
Oh my
Says it was a
on the inside
little
is
bit of a
oh
whirlwind.
my God.
It was a whirlwind meeting. Yes, it just so happened to be in a fight pit, but it seems as though your business
Wow, he
adventures
really was
brought
sticking
you
with them real
to that everything was just such a whirlwind, and after meeting you and after you left for a particular for only a short amount of time, all of a sudden realizing that you were the person that he was interested in. Why would he give me this particular account of events, and you give me an entirely different set saying that you've known each other for 3 months and have been engaged for a certain
I need to eat.
amount more? That's terribly unfortunate. You're going to have to hold it until I am satisfied with the answers that
That
you
was
were
Sophia.
providing.
That was Sophia, I'm sorry. Get nervous. Anything from the bathroom break, please? Never come back.
What were you actually doing last night?
We were just having a fun time.
Really? With a single glass of wine that managed to intoxicate the entire force.
It wasn't my wine.
That much I can believe.
I don't know what was in it. If there was anything in it, it was just strong.
Make a deception check.
God! Fucking. I'm putting this dice away. 8.
That much I can believe, that it wasn't your wine. But the fact that you didn't tamper with it is something that I can't believe. As multiple reports from my various subordinates have claimed that the bottles were already open and everything was already being poured by the time they arrived.
Isn't that the point of hosting a party? Is to have everything prepared.
Not like that. You have an alternative objective. And I'm fairly certain I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Continues walking and begins guiding you with the other guard.
Wow, this is the worst.
It's really bad.
This is really bad.
Nora.
Can I see Nora?
No, they're
Damn. I was gonna wait with her.
They're far down the road.
I don't want to play anymore.
I wanna go home. Can I go home now?
That I am done with you.
I'm gonna keep this.
It's definitely gonna be down to the Sprite. We're all going to prison.
Yay!
We were over here like, who are we gonna sacrifice to go to prison? And Madison's like, all of you. Little did we know.
Nora. By the time all of this conversation has happened, you've made it about halfway, and you're just walking, contemplating.
We're so used to lying.
Silent.
This is so easy. It was better to lie.
I'm contemplating.
If you have any time to prep whatever it is that you want to say, you round the corner and step up the stairs. 1, 2, 3. The door. They open the door for you. They're still gentlemen. You were escorted in, and you only see Jacob sitting behind bars over on the left-hand side.
It's terrible.
I should have worn my armor.
Jacob leaning up against the wall. You don't see Wyatt.
Oh, I figured not.
Yeah, that man was not getting trapped.
No.
You do not see.
That man definitely jumped out the
this
window.
definitely gonna
It went doom doom doom.
This is a terrible idea.
Dun, 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 dun.
Good morning.
What
They escort you beyond. You don't even get a chance to say anything. They escort you off to a side room, shut the door. But you do see him. He seems very much like how Talavin was. His physical physique, I mean, is, he doesn't seem lethargic or anything else, but there's just this essence of a tiredness, but also this very subtle nervousness coming off of him as he gives you a wave.
Because he knows I done fucking all this shit up. Fucking picnic? Are you kidding me? Talavin would hate that! Fucking picnic, are you serious?
You're brought into the room and the door's shut and you're... It's big brain time.
Came back with some good shit.
A couple minutes go
used
by.
my hairpin. I was like, no, that would be real bad. Only less an hour.
A couple of minutes go by.
Okay, observing while, because I'm alone in the room.
You're alone in the room.
Okay, what's the room look like?
The room is very, very small. No more than 7 feet by 5 feet. It's very narrow, very small. There is one window. It does have bars on it, but generally speaking, whenever you all did your scope around the corner, all of the windows did have bars on them, so it's not necessarily out of the norm, but it's still a little bit, that makes me uncomfortable. It's about 1 foot by 1 foot window, just some bars on it. There's currently, there is a table directly in front of you, and there are 2 chairs, and a couple of torch sconces illuminating the rest of the room, and that's it.
I'm gonna stay standing. Just kind of like, okay. So I assume that I'm going to have to sit with my back to the wall, and they'll sit with their back to the door. That's what I assume. So I'm going to stand in the corner. Like, here's the room. The door would be here, and then the table's here. I'm going to stand in this corner.
Mm-hmm.
So like you walk in, and it's like that.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to be fidgeting. Let's go along with that. Yes. And, let's see. Is the floor really clean?
Yeah, the floor's clean.
Is there a crack under the door?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a 3-inch crack, but you can see there's light on the other side. It's not an airtight room.
You said there's just one window?
Just one window, 1 foot by 1 foot.
Closed? Is there like an air through it, or is there glass? Or...
It's just a door, wooden door.
Oh no, the window.
Oh, the window? Yes, there's glass, but there are also bars.
Is it open?
You can try to open it.
I mean, like, if I look, is it like, perception?
Investigation.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. No, because I'm not gonna see me, like, trying to get out. I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, you can't just look at the window and see that it has, like, a latch on it to see if it potentially would open?
She'd have to investigate it.
I'm sure that means she has to touch it.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yes,
Investigation is touching.
right now, she's in one of the corners of the room, staring kind of at this window. And if she just glances over at it, you can only pick up so much with your perception. This would be an investigation. You would have to get closer to the window. You'd have to poke and prod at the window. That's what the investigating part is for.
No, I'm not gonna do it. It'll just raise us a why are you looking out the window? You must be really suspicious! You must be guilty of something, which I am. But they don't do that.
I don't need to know that.
I'm just chilling in the corner. I'm fidgeting.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she is kind of nervous, so it's not a stretch to be super. Just like not trying to hide, not trying to like wall up the nervousness. Just like,
Good to know. A few minutes go by. Just in this quietness.
Interrogate. Terrible.
Interrogation.
Terrible.
I goofed! You go a significant amount of time and actually hear the door open from the outside, the main door open. You've made it to the prison at this point. You're brought past. You automatically pick up. There's Jacob sitting in a cell right over there. over in the corner. You do not currently see Wyatt, and there are a few other people who are also behind bars.
Yeah, that man's probably non-existent. The man's a whole shadow.
Yeah. And you are brought to one of the cells over to the side. They open it. They shut it before Zoom has a chance to go in there. And they're like, you can wait over there.
He doesn't speak. Just so you know.
I gathered
He
as
cannot
much.
write.
He can wait over there. I'm pointing to some chairs nearby.
Him.
He's like, he hasn't done anything wrong, has he? He looks over at Zoom.
Really?
Sit over there. Zoom looks slightly pitifully, and also with this deep sympathy of like, no, you're behind bars, and he can't do anything about it right now. And he does what he's told and goes over and sits, just keeps staring, looking around, trying to figure out the problem at hand. Nora, the door opens, and Dagon enters. Shuts the door.
This is my cues user.
Dagon
The chief. He's the chief.
Chief, sorry.
Yeah, the chief. He comes in, just sits down in the chair. Says, apologies for the rough treatment of you this morning. I'm just trying to figure out what happened to all of my people last night. I don't know if it was you, I don't know if it's something else. A lot of strange things have been going on. We're all a little bit on edge, and I apologize for being rough with you this morning.
Thank you. I understand how you may be on guard considering the attacks in the area, and so I understand. I have trouble hiding my emotions and voices. So
Do you actually roll a persuasion or deception, depending on how you want to go with this?
I mean, my persuasion. Oh no.
That sounds like a you problem.
So she said that she has trouble hiding emotions, but I guess she doesn't. I feel like deception, even though it's higher, it's a lot higher. Let's go with deception. Sure.
So you're trying to deceive.
That just makes it sound bad.
No, like you don't have a hard time with your emotions, and so you're trying to put on this act, or are you trying to be persuasive?
Well, that is true. Nora. Okay. To be true to Nora, she does not have trouble hiding.
Not what number is higher, but what are you actually? What does Nora actually feel? Is she trying to deceive, or is she trying to be like, no, this is actually bothering me? Like, no, I'm not bothered by stuff like this. I can take whatever comes my way, or no, I'm actually bothered by this.
So she, in reality, Nora can hide her emotions because she spent her childhood, like, keeping herself intact.
Yeah.
So, that would be deception. Not just because the number's higher. Because she could easily just...
Okay, go ahead and roll a deception check.
Yes. Come on. 22.
Well,
This way.
fear not. As long as you answer some of the questions that I have, we'll be on our way. You'll be able to go about the rest of your day.
Is my cousin all right?
Don't worry about her. She's currently waiting outside.
No, your cousin is not fine.
She's on the gallows currently. Right. So she's
Channel divinity.
Would you like some water? You didn't have a chance to have any breakfast, or anything?
Dang it, like you, fam. Good job. Nora may not come in the fights always, but bruh, she come in when it matters.
It's the RP. Yeah. So I really like some water.
Of course. Are you uncomfortable with sitting or?
I can sit.
You don't have to. One moment. He gets up, leaves for about 30 seconds, and comes back with a nice pitcher of water.
While he's gone, I'm gonna sit down.
You sit down. Comes back into the room, places the cup of water. It's this. You can definitely tell it's like one of the communal mugs, but it looks like it was polished.
That's fine.
It's polished recently.
Take a sip.
It's very nice water. Very cool.
It's not. This is not a communal mug, but I'm just gonna RP this.
So, your cousin, how long has she known her fiance?
Because I could easily just be like, oh yeah, it's all this, and they met, and he proposed by the lake, and blah blah blah, but that's not fair. Because Nora didn't know that.
No, what does Nora know? This
What
is
does
an RP
Nora
test.
doesn't know this. So intelligence check. Would she possibly perceive that Jacob would have tried to keep it as close as possible to the real story?
Well, Talavin would go full out lies.
Intelligence?
This would be an intelligence check.
Okay.
Because you're trying to logic, you're like, okay, so, Jacob probably did something. You don't know if he would stay to the truth or whether or not he would lie, but this is kind of what this is for, so.
Mm-hmm.
Make an intelligence check.
18.
18. Knowing Jacob has a way with words. He has this spark of charisma about him. Although he's 9 times out of 10, he does seem to be very upfront with various pieces of information.
Yeah, well, maybe she make an intelligence
He
check on
does.
Talavin.
He does have that kind of information. Most likely, he would have stayed. You're not sure how much. He probably would have had some kind of ballpark for the information. But, I mean, based on him, based on his character, you don't think that he would tell something outlandish.
It's been several months. We met in, where was it?
No,
Willends. That's whenever I met him for the first time. My cousin had been in town for a little while before I made it there. I don't know if they were acquainted or not beforehand. We didn't get around to saying that. But they got engaged not too long after that.
And how did he propose? Out of curiosity.
I don't exactly know. They kept the relationship between them. I'm not very close with my cousin. Like we're forming our bonds.
But he did talk to you, right, about what your cousin likes and things that she would be okay with, right?
She would be okay with. I tried to help him a little bit, but like I said, we're just trying to reform our bonds after a long period of not seeing each other very often, so I'm still trying to figure out my cousin's personality, because she's got a lot of personality.
What were you doing downstairs with everyone else?
Oh, last night.
You probably would have celebrated at some point or another with your cousin. This was some kind of formal drink event.
Yes, I actually saw you leave.
I know.
I'm not very into social events, but to be there for my cousin, I went down just to make an appearance. But by the time I was down there, she had already passed out the drinks, and I don't drink. I intoxicate very easily, and I don't like being in public settings and being vulnerable. So, so I went down and I made an appearance, and I was uncomfortable with how intoxicated everyone seemed, so I left soon after.
So the wine was already open by the time you came down.
Oh yes, everyone had already been drinking by the time we made my way over.
How much do you think everyone was drinking? Based on their level of intoxication, you say you intoxicate easily. You would obviously know your cousin and her fiancé, who's actually in the wine business.
I do not think that they intoxicate easily. I did. One of your guards handed me a glass at one point, and I didn't want to intake. It did smell very strong, as if it was a particularly strong brew. I don't know my alcohols very well. It did smell like wine, though. But that's all I can tell you the type or how strong or not.
And you decided to make conversation with the first person who you happened upon?
I did speak with one of your guards. He was very forward, and I believe...
At this, he straightens up. Not abrasively, but just hearing this, straightens up.
He was very forward and did insinuate making advances towards me, so I left very soon after that.
You remember anything else about the conversation?
Kind of like hesitates, but he mentioned taking me to his prison. And he just looks away, just kind of like shies and like drinks some water.
Apologies. Did you see him speak to anyone afterwards? Make a performance check, just by the way.
Or just start piling this shit on me. Like, let me go to jail. Like, just let me go to jail. I've already fucked all this shit up. Be like, ooh, Talavin went over there and was like broken on him.
19, and then his performance, I can spell, 23.
23? Okay. I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable. Did you see him speak with anyone else during that particular point in time?
Not that I recall. Whenever he did make eye contact with some of the other guards in the area. Whenever they were chanting around him once his pants fell down.
I forgot that happened.
And I made a hasty escape.
His pants should have been held up by his belt. At what point did that leave his person? Did you happen to notice? Did you see what happened to the belt?
I believe it. He undid it and he just loosened it. I believe I was trying not to look at the area. If you understand.
You can either roll deception or persuasion, depending on how you're doing this. Because you were checking out the belt given the time because you wanted the keys, but there were other things that you were not trying to sneak a peek at. How are you doing this?
She was looking. She was looking, so it would be not just because it's tired. She's actually
trying to deceive. Okay, go ahead and roll a deception check. Depending on how you want to roll this, yeah.
See, we're rolling
Whoa,
fucking.
is
That is cocked as fuck. That's cocked. Like,
Yeah, it is. It's the at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. 15.
15. He looks. Really. You know that the Deputy Clement, is actually in charge of some very important keys. As he was supposed to be on night watch this particular night, even yesterday, these keys are what help this area run efficiently.
You did mention that.
I'm sure he did. Some of these keys, through the course of the evening, through his various moments of intoxication, seem to have vanished. Make a deception check.
4.
This is a very serious matter, especially given the current uprising and various homicides.
Right. Oh my. Do you, how do you handle things like this? Do you immediately go search the tavern or?
We managed to obtain the belt, but some of the keys are still at large. Do you remember anybody else who happened to be in the tavern at the time? Anyone else who might have been watching the group?
I can't say that I saw anyone looking suspicious in the area. I don't know if I'd be able to pick out a suspicious person other than unless they were, actively being suspicious. Being suspicious.
One last question. Why were you circling the prison yesterday, smiling at some of the guards?
Oh, you're referring to my cousin was with me at the time?
Yes.
Walking around. Yes. We were looking around the city and we enjoy, but appreciate the work that you guys are doing. So, smile to it. Because you all putting your lives on the line, especially in these types of situations. So it seems like a smile is the least we can do.
Where did you go after? You said you fled back to your room. Do you have anyone who can corroborate your series of events?
Back up to my room and had a quiet evening.
One quick follow-up question. You said that you work with spells. Your cousin made that much obvious that she is arcanely blessed.
Yes.
What do you know of herbs?
Herbs?
Herbs. Spices. Potions.
I can't say I know much about it. I know a couple healing poultices. I do have arcane abilities, but I'm not.
Wouldn't somebody who studied the arcane have some kind of knowledge of various elements required for spell casting? For instance, if you were trying to cast a particular spell, wouldn't you need some elements? Isn't that what you were doing with the ink? You need more than ink for a spell. Unless my friends have told me wrong.
Yes, I do. I specialize in invocations, and I have a book where I ink. You write in certain arcane symbols, and you can call upon them later Like I have one that can identify certain magical elements.
So you would have a better understanding of the herbs then, other than just these few pulses.
Well, the elements are different. Mixing potions and brewing ingredients takes years of practice. I deal more with innate magical abilities. So casting spells rather than making potions.
Very well. That will be all.
Oh man.
He stands up and says, "Your half-orcish friend is just outside. You're free to wait with him."
Thank
He goes outside.
you for water.
You leave the water.
Issue with you about your fingerprints on
You only forensics. We're gonna test this.
lightning dust. Like, no!
I'm cycling to several jars of that in my bag of holding. FYI.
Huge tubs of it, like 5 gallon
Like
buckets.
huge tubs of it. Huge. Like a lot.
Oh, yay.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
go out and I see him.
He looks and then looks over, and you see now the way he looks. You see Talavin is in a cell.
I'm just. Is there like a bed? Like how does this cell work?
There's only a chair.
I'm just sitting in it, just hands in my, just
Are you
looking totally nonchalant. Just kind of, I'm not looking at Jacob. I'm not looking at anybody. I'm just looking ahead, small grin on my face. Like literally like a
You
psycho.
know you're going to jail.
Yeah, like I look like I'm the mastermind behind all of this. Is what I'm trying to do. Yeah. No, like literally that's what I'm going down.
You're going for guilty?
I'm going for guilty. I fucked myself into this, I'll fuck my way out.
Are you alright?
I'll just kinda like look over
One
at
of
you.
one of the guards says, "Please do not talk to the prisoners."
I'll just kinda give her a grin and just like nod.
He goes over at this point, undoes the latch on Jacob's cell, opens it up, says, "Come with me."
When I tell you I did not look at anyone. I mean like I walked into my cell, sat down and just
Out of your peripheral, you did see Jacob at one point try and catch your eye.
I mean, technically, hold on. Technically, I can just look out of my eye. At one point, I will look at and link with him.
You'd have to look at him.
I mean, technically, he's in my peripheral. If I'm looking forward, though.
Yeah.
You said he's in my, so technically, that's still seeing him.
Yeah.
So
out of his peripheral.
I'll look over, link with him, and then just go back to looking, like just seeing him out of my peripheral. And I'll just be like, yeah, I fucked us definitely.
What?
And I'll tell him exactly what I said, and be like, my bad, bro. I didn't know we were going with the truth. I'm not very good with truths, bro. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that definitely changes things.
Nora probably went with a more closer version of the truths because she's a lot smarter than I am. but
Why
I'm
would
not
you
good with truth.
lie?
I'm not good with truths.
Why would
Truth
why?
gets got you, Nora. I can't help myself. I'm a liar.
Obviously not a good one.
Obviously, that's why I'm always in trouble. I can't deception my way out of
You
the
visually see him sigh.
I'm just staring straight ahead, psychopathic look on my face, which I'm good at.
So, what are we going to do? Do I change my story and
No,
indicate you?
I think we should just go blame it all on me. I charmed you or drugged you or it doesn't matter. Maybe we can spin this in a way that I'm the only one that goes down for this. I'll admit it if that's what it is. We have the sprites that are coming to help us. Hopefully if we get you out of this, you and Nora can talk about it. I don't know where Wyatt is. He's probably hiding. He's probably really good at it.
Oh yeah, he's hiding.
Yeah, probably. The sprites are coming to help us get this guy out. If we sacrifice me, I can take the fall for this. They're not gonna just, shit, if they just fucking send me straight to the gallows, fuck it, whatever. I was gonna die anyways. But there's no point in all of us going down for this. I have magic, I can at least...
he thinks we know something then.
And we can blame it on me. I have a few different abilities that
They have methods of getting the truth out of people. Talavin, if that you go in there and you accidentally let something slip, this or question, you let something slip about the blood contract, about any of this, then
I'm not saying we
we're
won't
dead in
let
the
that
water.
slip. I'm just saying we blame it all on me.
They're going to want to know why we drove them.
Better
So the question, that's what I'm saying, is if we try and have you go down with whatever this is, then they're going to hone in on you. They're going to bring in people who know information. He said he knows people in the clergy. What do you think that means?
He probably knows poison. He's already made that very clear to me. And I'm the one with all the herbs. So, that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
He's going to get the information. He's going to know why we drugged them, how we drugged them, what our end goal is.
I could just not answer questions that makes me look guilty. And then eventually, we'll come in.
You being quiet looks even worse.
Okay, well then, you all tell the truth. Whatever truth it is that you all can come up with. Because obviously, I can't. Okay?
At this point, Nora does come out.
I just think it would be better if only one of us took the fall for this.
Make a persuasion roll. Plus.
Persuasion?
You both got nat 20s?
6 plus 6.
Oh.
Just be careful with him. He saw right through my bullshit. Just FYI.
I wasn't lying! I fibbed a little about, the proposal, but, I didn't...
A picnic, bro?
No, that's not what I said.
What the I told you fucking picnic wine in a bottle. I told him we were fighting. I don't know, and you told me you loved me. Oh my god. He's a psychopath and liar too.
He looks and he's like, I said that you were the one who proposed to me.
That sounds way more believable.
He's like,
what else did you tell him? I told him you met me in a fight pit that I was ripping Nicholas's throat out. Really fast. In case he asks.
As he gets up, just saying like, gets up and goes,
I'm so sorry.
You're yelling in his mind.
And his mind's like, ah.
You didn't inside check Dagon.
Huh?
You didn't inside check Dagon. Not once.
I didn't! I just assumed. Fuck assuming.
Nora, you're now outside of the office. You can't make out anything that is currently being said on the other side.
That's fine. Why would I need to see what's going on? Okay, I'm sitting listening.
Oh, they're outside, so they're not in the building anymore. Is that what you just said?
No, they're sitting in the essentially it's like the lobby, the main office area where you see a lot of the officers are still they all look worse for wear. But it looks like whatever scolding they received has definitely woken them up. The deputy is not there.
Okay, good. That was my next question.
Yeah, you do not see the deputy. You don't see where he is. You don't see what he's currently... All you know is that the officers that you do see, the various soldiers in charge of running this prison. Some of them are still inside, some of them are just watching the prisoners, and some of them are outside.
How many are there?
How many are there?
Too many to kill.
There right now in your immediate vicinity you see five guards. And this isn't including the people who are on patrol and so forth, but the ones that you see. You see one young boy who currently, bursts into the office, and he hands a bunch of letters, a bunch of little pieces of paper to the people at the front, which is actually an older woman. Looks like she's possibly in her 50s, 60s or so. Currently scribbling in books along this desk. She has graying hair, just thin around her ears, and so forth, hair in a tight bun. You swear that some of the wrinkles are actually pulled back all on her face.
Damn, that's talent.
Because of this particular skill, although it doesn't serve her very well. Whatever position that she's been serving has definitely worn her. You see a couple of the other guards. One of them appears to be 30s and possibly mid-30s, thin brown hair in a braid that just goes down on her right-hand side. She's got her chest puffed out. And as she's walking around, she'll bang a stick along the bars every once in a while as she walks around. Not loud, just ting 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 ting, all the way down.
It's tactic.
And then you see another guy, one of the ones that you saw the previous night, who was there. Gruff looking, introduced himself as Wolf Hunter.
I remember him.
Isn't he the one where he was like, "Oh, why are you smiling at me"? Wasn't that him?
We didn't say anything, but he was
I thought he was. No, he was the one that came up at me and thought I was flirting with him.
something like that.
The one that who you saw was Wade Clements.
The one you were talking
The
about.
the ones that whenever you saw him, you all smiled and he smiled back. But then this other guy, who was Wolf, was the one who
was the one that thought I was being
a little bit flirtatious.
That's on the page that's missing currently.
After about an hour,
Oof. I'm gonna definitely say that I link with her because I can obviously see her. Yes,
you can see her. She's just at the edge, though, of.
I shall link with her. What the fuck did you tell them? Tell me right now because I already fucked everything up.
Oh no. Okay, I told them.
I'll tell her everything that I said, and then she's gonna scold me and tell me what she said.
Yes, kind of filling in.
I should have wrote it down, but I didn't.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was that you all had met.
You've known each other for 3 years.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah.
But I didn't write down what she had said.
Oh,
I'm the
okay,
note taker.
sorry.
She's telling me what she
Okay.
said. Because I didn't take notes while she was getting interviewed because I don't want to be a cheat.
Makes sense.
I said that you all, or that we're just now rekindling our relationship after a long period of absence. That you and Jacob met in Willends, and got engaged soon after. But that it was a whirlwind and that I didn't keep track of it very well. I told them, what was I say? It was, Talavin doesn't know this about the advances of the guard.
Oh, you told him he's making advances? Do I need to go?
No. It's like,
Oh,
it's fine.
sure.
But if anything, tell them that I told you last night or something. If that comes up.
Okay.
It probably won't.
Go on with advances.
Yeah, that was better. I told them that I was super timid. I continued that timid nervousness act to continue with the ink and such. Yes, I think that was something else glaringly important.
We asked you about the enchantment stuff. You want to tell me about that?
No.
I will shoot the metagaming pigeon.
I want to tell me everything.
I mean, there wasn't. He asked me
I'm
about the.
just saying, are
homeless.
you going to tell me everything he talked to you about?
Yeah, I was saying
Okay.
this for your benefit.
Okay. And I'm saying that she's telling me about that so that I can write it down because I was thinking about some things.
Cool. So Jacob was taken back.
Jacob
Yeah.
was taken back for about
Was
an hour.
he taken aback?
Nora, any ideas on how we should handle this? Because I told Jacob to blame it all on me.
There's no way he was gonna fall for that.
I don't know, but
Why would you blame?
I mean, somebody's got to take the fall for this. And we're either all going to take the fall for it,
Or one of us can take the fall for it.
The
And that,
fall, they don't have any evidence against us.
and I'm just saying that my story doesn't align with your all story. So I'm the odd man out.
You could just say you're a pathological liar.
Could I get advantage on that roll? Just saying.
but yeah, I mean,
Perhaps come up with some sort of conspiracy that Jacob doesn't know about. Perhaps Jacob has an imaginary brother that, I don't know, you were also involved with. I don't know. Maybe don't do that. That's probably
Yeah,
a
that's
bad
a lot.
idea. But you've already proven that you're a liar, so.
That's true. I could just keep lying. About shit.
and he's definitely not going to let me out of here. All I'm saying is I'm very unlikely getting out of here.
I don't know. I still have hope for you.
I don't.
The door actually swings open and Dagon steps out. Shuts the door behind him.
Oh, Jake doesn't come out.
Jacob doesn't come out.
Ah, fuck.
Goes over. Would you please bring her to the other room? The guards come over.
I wait till they open the door.
They
and
open
I
the
just
door.
Stand up and I walk through.
You walk through and they direct you to a secondary room.
Oh, champagne, 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 champagne.
I look straight-faced as fuck.
Forgot my notes.
Sophia's face will do all sorts of things within this time.
During this particular time, you are brought into the room with Dagon. He sits back in the chair. Again, it's a very small room, maybe 7 feet by 5-6 feet. It's very small.
I'm going
There's
to
a
power
table.
move this, and I'm going to sit down in the chair with my back facing the door.
He doesn't sit across from you.
That's fine. He doesn't have to.
Interesting story.
Interesting life.
You know what your fiance just said?
Not really. Doesn't do.
Said a lot of
I'm
things.
not looking at him. I'm just looking
Said a
through
lot
the
of
window.
things.
Is there a window across from me?
There is a window.
I'm just looking
About
through the
one-
window.
1 foot by 1 foot with bars and glass on it.
Just trying to like get a feel. I'm just looking through the window. There is a table and chairs, right?
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
didn't
There's
get
a
to see
table.
there
No,
was.
there's a table and chairs.
I'm just sitting on the ground. I'm
Yeah.
just sitting on
I sit right there in the window.
Come on. Forgot them.
What are you doing here in the city?
just traveling.
Be
I-
specific.
How specific do you want? I mean, what do you want to know? I don't want to really share my life story with you. I don't know you.
Just what you're doing here in the city.
Selling wine. That's what we do.
And that's all. Just selling wine. What?
This is literally a Madison Sophia stare off, and Sophia is internally panicking AF. Madison's poker face is too good.
She knows what to do. She twitch her eye and it's gonna make me smile. I can't do it.
hire your bodyguard?
I guess a few months ago.
And how often do you sleep with him?
I'm sorry, that's not Talavin. Of course Jacob would say this. Insight check.
Oh, you're inside checking him?
Oh.
I'm rooting for you.
24!
Ah, yeah.
Is he bullshitting me right now? Like, would Jacob say something like this? Like, is he just trying to throw me?
Well, are you...
Insight check, is he trying to throw me off to make me say something I shouldn't?
It seems like he's implying something.
Something somebody would have told him, or something that he's coming up with?
It seems like he's implying something that maybe he came up with on his own.
Again, insight check, my insight check.
Dude, they're sleeping in the same room. Who's these guys?
I'm not even gonna look at him. I'm just going to, like, give, like, a small, like, you know how people do those, like, shoulder chuckles, you know? Just like a... Hold on. Shit! I blanked. I knew exactly what I was gonna say and then I blanked. I don't sleep with my bodyguard. He's a bodyguard, not a toy.
Your fiancé loves you very much. And yet you don't decide to share a room with him?
I mean, we're not married. It's not appropriate.
And yet it's appropriate to have another fully grown man, half-orc he may be, sleep in your room.
I mean, what's the point of a bodyguard if he's not around?
You know there's this thing called a hallway that you can sleep outside of. What are his wages?
20?
That's not an answer.
I haven't dealt with such things. I don't know. It gets paid when we sell things? I don't know. I don't pay
You're
it.
saying you're not financially savvy.
I'm saying I'm very financially adept. I give him what he's owed.
And what is that? Well,
But I know, like, what a good bodyguard salary is. Can I, like, insight check myself? Intelligence check myself? Because, I mean, technically I was a princess. I felt like there would have been, like, a...
how old are you when you
payment
left?
system. 12! Okay, 12. But I mean, like, even 12-year-olds notice money going around. Shiny things.
Would you know the pay scale of all of your particular bodyguards at 12 years old when you were training beasts of war?
Okay, what about, I mean, I'm sure
learning to
that my parents
magically
don't just
move.
let their children wander about on their own. So I'm sure I might have seen, you know, my parents pay people to, like, I don't know, walk around with us when we're traveling. How much did I ever see my parents pay someone to travel with us? Because they didn't travel with us.
I don't know. How much is in a sack of gold? How much is in a sack?
I don't know, Madison, you're the DM, you would know.
Would a 12-year-old know?
She could assume, especially knowing the size of it now, how much gold fits in a bag, weight
Like an
distribution, that I would know
intelligence
now.
check at disadvantage.
How much?
Disadvantage.
That's caught. I rolled 2 of the same.
Okay,
You said a what?
An intelligence check at disadvantage.
I want to help
14. 11 plus 3 is 14.
I mean, your castle guards seem to be well off, but
Well
you're
off
also
is
a traveling merchant.
Would you like to risk the metagaming pigeon?
No, it's okay.
Here's what I can understand. Small-time merchant, wine seller. How much is he clearing? How much are you both clearing? when it comes to your profits. How can
I would
As-
technically know
as
this
small
because
merchant.
I went with Jacob that day to sell, and I would know about how much he made that day. Intelligence check. How much did he make that day?
Okay, go ahead, make an intelligence check.
Fucking 3, goddamn. Well, no, it's a +3 for me. Sorry, that's a 15. It's not
Good,
bad.
15. It's been a hot minute, but recalling these different things between all of the different places, he made upward of around 200 or so gold
Just for that day.
for that particular day. But he was doing a lot of hard sells of, boots on the ground, going from place to place, pounding the pavement, trying to sell his product. And they made about 200 gold. You don't know what he had in supplies, but you know how much money he was given.
Well, I guess it would just depend how much work you put in a day, how much supplies we have. I mean, we've made upward of $200 in a day, depending on how
Dollars?
200 gold. Sorry. I don't know why I was thinking of dollar bills.
Because we live in the United
I
States.
love America.
US dollars.
I don't know. We made upward of 200 gold sometimes, but it could be more. It could be
You're
less.
saying he deals with the financials.
I say I just help to sell.
So he's the one who pays your bodyguard.
He has the money.
Here's the thing. He's your bodyguard, right?
He stays with me.
I'm having a hard time believing that someone who makes around 200 gold or so, depending on the sale and depending on various profits, can afford a full-time in-house bodyguard without something to help supplement your income.
Insight check, is he implying ho again? I'm just kidding. Insight check, is he implying ho? No, I'm just kidding.
Just do it.
Insight check.
What are your insight checks?
That he's implying that I do something on the side.
Okay. There you go.
Is my insight +7? What is it?
Fix these dice.
12.
And 12. He's a hard guy to read.
Hard guy to read.
He's a hard guy to read. It does seem like that is the current line of questioning, though.
Okay. I'm catching the drift, okay. That was Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
Talavin does not say that. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have my own money from something else. I'm saying
What is that
for
something
our
else?
craft. A previous life.
I'm waiting for the details, if you can't tell by my expression.
I couldn't have not looking at you as I stare into the window.
He walks around at this point and sits across from you.
I'm just kind of like idly, not like you know that like you can like look at something and not be looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like nonchalant, just looking in his direction but not really seeing him. And then I'll just kind of like blink and kind of like focus in on him. And then I'll kind of look up and I'll just be like, well, every girl has a side job. What's to say that mine's not, I don't know, tearing people's throats out.
If you were an employed assassin of sorts, then that would certainly be a profession, a sellsword.
Previously. Maybe.
That maybe could be of value. See, I know that you're lying to me. You've been lying every time your mouth opens, save for possibly a few moments. I don't actually know if you care about the individual in the other room, nor your cousin or the young gentleman accompanying her outside with the tusks. What I do know, though, is that you're hiding something. You're not willing to disclose it, and it could be that you're fearing of a higher power because of it. What do you know about the 11 Spires?
Sorry, that's Sophia.
It's way harder than mine.
My hope is always way harder than yours, Mackenzie.
I find it innocent. Like,
Madison knows how to get me.
I don't know.
You just like,
you went,
so sweet.
you went
I'm a cookie
the deceptive lying route and were caught in the lies. You have been placed
I'm not
under
good at the
sus.
So it's fine. I'm not saying I don't deserve it. I'm just saying Kinsey is very good at the cute cuddly parts.
Make a charisma saving throw to not have a reaction.
Come on. Natural 19.
Oh, good.
Saving throw, good. My charisma is... Oh my god, it's so good! 25.
Looks. Well, you know anything about them?
I've heard tale.
Heard tale. That's
I've never interacted, if that's what you're implying.
hardly implying. I'm saying that you probably have.
Sophia. I mean, you did just say you were an assassin.
No, I didn't. I said that I ripped people's throats out, and technically I've only done it once. He doesn't know that, though.
Here's the thing. Whether or not you're employed by them or whether you're currently being employed by somebody else, that is a little concern of mine. What I do know is that if you are working with 11 Spires, then you could possibly turn the tables on your current predicament, as you have been cast in a very poor light as of this current moment.
It is very dark in here.
I would. No, actually, you have dark vision, so it kind of looks normal to you. yeah.
I know.
You've been cast in a very poor light. If you are working with them, then perhaps you can help turn the tables. Help us figure out where a few of these particular members are, and in exchange, we don't throw you in prison and send you to trial and possibly lock you in some of our darkest areas. If you're a sellsword, whether or not you're being employed by them or somebody else, then perhaps we can come to some kind of alternative arrangement then. Perhaps pay you for your services in attempting to find a few particular individuals who we are having difficulty locating, and seeing as you can get around a little bit easier, perhaps we can come to some kind of arrangement.
I assume the latter offer is the murders going around.
Admittedly.
Would that be a mistake?
No. A keen mind. You're a terrible liar, but at least you've got a good head on your shoulders. Yes. Our various patrols just recently have come across yet another case.
Last night.
Mm.
She interreleased herself in the face. I'm just kidding.
Everyone was out intoxicated and not being on patrol. We lost another 2 on our own force. This is unacceptable.
The guilt-ridden. Oh God. Talavin just she doesn't react. Sophia feels terrible. I will say it did pique interest. These murders, and we did come into town.
I'm asking you if you're willing to work with us on this particular case in order to better prove your worth. Because as of now, I would not lose a wink's sleep of sending you down to one of our lowest levels and having you sit there and rot until you're willing to come forth and actually tell us the truth.
That would be a long time.
So you are fitting to me.
What did he just say?
So you are fibbing to me. I'm just confirming that you are lying. I'm saying that it would be a
Did you
very
say I'm not
long
always
time.
lying?
It's obvious that you're always lying.
And then, obviously, I was lying.
You're not doing yourself
Sophia cannot give a straight face with this. I can't do it. Okay.
Well, you're doing a good job, like, staying.
You're
I'm
having
saying, yeah, I'm trying.
You're obviously having a hard time riddling your way out of this. I'm going to give you some time to think about this very clear offer. And if you're unwilling to cooperate on any front, we have some methods that could possibly help.
I'll smile.
Stands up, gets up and walks away. Shuts up behind him.
I'm going to, after we leave, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to walk like towards the window.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to sit down facing the window still. And just sit down and start to screaming at myself. Internally. I'm just like looking up at the window.
Dagon comes out, looks at both you and Zoom. How long has he said that he has trouble speaking? How long has he been in your cousin's employment?
What did I say?
Wait, because I'm...
You're sitting outside with Zoom.
Yeah, but Zoom is there, so why wouldn't you ask Zoom?
Because
Zoom
he
can't talk.
I think he can numbers.
No, he can't.
He's asking you.
Yeah, I know. So it's me.
Yeah.
How long he's been. He was already in employment whenever I met her in Willends.
Zoom nods and kind of points to.
Oh dear. I don't remember what I said.
He's at
I think I said a few months,
That's
right?
what he said.
Okay.
Is your cousin into various dealings with nefarious people?
Not that I know of.
Deception or persuasion? Which one are you going with?
It's deception.
It's a deception.
Because yes, she is nefarious. Of course.
Okay.
19.
19. His eyes narrow skeptically. Are you currently involved in any nefarious dealings?
Well, I hope not. But considering that I'm being questioned in a prison cell and apparently...
You're not in a cell.
Oh, not sorry. In
In a jail house.
in a jail. Apparently this is bigger than something that I don't
Take
understand.
another deception check. Is your cousin's fiancé currently involved in anything nefarious? Something that you would deem nefarious?
Well, intoxication could lead to nefarious things, but he's not malicious about it. He just makes the wine, and whatever happens after that is just the wine is contributing back.
It's a lot of rolls.
10 to 20.
Bro, he can get no beats off you like he is me.
I'd be so sure. He looks at you like you're going to be escorted back to your room with the so-called bodyguard of your cousins. You're to remain there because you are being placed under temporary guard. I have some follow-up questions, but as of now, I am currently detained and speaking with these two individuals.
Alright.
I hope that doesn't distress you.
It does, but
Sincerest apologies.
what has to happen, I suppose.
How can your cousin afford a bodyguard?
Ooh.
Well,
Final question before I let you leave.
unfortunately, we don't pay him, or she doesn't pay him very much, but she does take care of his living expenses, which is why we try to save money by staying in the same room.
She pays him.
Wait, that's it.
Yeah,
I
you
said
said she pays him.
I believe so.
Thank you.
Damn. I can take it back, she didn't know.
I didn't think about paying anybody.
As far as I'm aware.
He looks over at two of the guards and says, would you please escort them back to their current living quarters? I have a few more questions to ask.
So technically it's been a couple of hours, yes? So... maybe the sprites already went and came back and they're all going to be waiting for you and they're going to be having a fucking party and they'll open the door and be like, hello!
You're escorted back with Zoom.
I'm going to apologize to the guards on the way back. I'm so sorry for all this trouble and this misunderstanding.
It's okay. You wouldn't happen to know what was in that wine, do you?
I didn't even drink any of it. But apparently it was very strong.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I don't
I'm
have
sorry
anything to help
too.
you.
And the one guy's, yeah, he ripped us a new one last night and this morning,
I'm so sorry.
and we lost out on our wages for the day and the week.
Oh, damn!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And she also threatened to not give us our due diligence until we get this psycho killer caught. So it's gonna be a long week.
I have heard about this psycho killer.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. We lost 2 on the force. Don't tell anybody.
Oh no.
That is not convincing.
Oh no, poor you.
Damn!
That was Mackenzie.
That's easy.
Oh. How terrible.
It's alright.
Do you have any leads? Or can you not discuss that?
We're not allowed to discuss anything, and if he finds out that I might have accidentally let that slip, and the other guy's like, dude, shut up. We're just supposed to bring it back. Shut up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you
No,
have
we
a
don't have
No.
any.
Yes.
I took him to the spa.
To the spa.
You all are escorted back up to your room. And says, we're gonna be outside the room here until he tells us to not be. Really sorry. We can get you some food if that's what you'd like.
That's alright. After this morning, I'm not really hungry. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
It's alright. We'll get through this. I just hope my cousin is alright.
He didn't have that. That's his I'm gonna kill someone face. That's
Is he actually?
I mean, he's all sweet and cuddly when you get to know him, but he's not kidding. He's fed up with everybody here, and he's ready for blood to be spilled. Whatever threats he might have been making, he's dead serious today. Have a good day. Zoom.
There's anyone in the room? That was me asking you.
Make a perception check.
Ah! 18 plus perception. 23.
Everything is as it was left.
Of course.
Initially, you don't hear anything. And then, very similar to some of your previous experiences, there's an addition to part of the stand. And it opens. There's this like peek out. And you see Tello and Spice both get up. Like, what on earth happened?
I'm gonna get really close. Well, I can't whisper because the mic probably won't pick me up.
Yeah.
But
This is stage whispering.
I'm whispering all this
Stage whispering.
from this point, whispering. Okay. There are guards positioned outside right now. They questioned us about last night and why all the guards got drunk.
Oh dear.
Off of one, yes, they're currently holding Jacob in Talavin.
Right.
Yes.
So there's no mind anywhere, we still don't know where he is.
There's
Did you-
a wild light out there.
Did you all didn't make it outside, did you?
Jim went to go meet everyone.
Did they come?
I don't know. They haven't returned.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Jim was there. Sorry.
No, it's just Tellel and Spice.
Gotcha. Alright.
She went. She was quite a trick getting one of the windows open, but she went out to go and meet them.
I was like, I thought she said the room was completely dumped in. I was like, oh no, there's no windows. They're not getting out. I was like, they might get out, but they're not getting back in when they see all those cards right there.
Nope.
That's fine, that's fine.
Right. All right. So she's currently being questioned.
Yes.
No, I've had too much talking. That's exactly what happens when I chew gum. I start drooling.
Yeah,
profusely.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So,
All right.
Jim, okay. Were there any more notes in the journal? Were you able to?
Oh, but we didn't have access to them.
You have it.
But I left it with them.
Oh, yeah, no, I did. She left it in their pack.
I can't open that. You know how heavy this is? For someone like me.
No, afraid not.
I might have intellect, but even I can't put together a pulley system in order to get that out of the bag and then get the pages open. There's no further writing.
Okay. The pages are like sticking.
Yeah, there's a good section of them that
That's okay. It'll disappear
there's
after
just
a
this
while,
little bit of
right?
crusty and stiff. Yeah.
It'll disappear.
Possibly.
It's
Maybe.
fine.
How long do you think she will be detained?
By the looks of it, it looks like indefinitely.
Oh dear.
Yes, that is not great. Looks like we may have to figure out this split contract on our own.
That is unfortunate.
Yes,
Great.
quite. You
I
haven't
have-
seen Wyatt, have you?
No, we haven't seen Wyatt or have been made contact with him. Evidently, whatever it is that he's up to is secret, or at the very least, I'm sure he's nearby.
Oh, I'm sure he's
He's a shadow stalker.
okay.
The shadow now.
Probably not likely that he's still in the room. But, for the fun of it, let's do a message. To
You
Wyatt.
do that?
Yes, and let's see if, because I have to point, I have to point in the direction and think of whoever it is I'm trying to reach. But I can see if he's still in the room because the rooms are right.
It's like a 120-foot range, isn't it?
Yeah.
As long as you point a direction, that person's in that direction,
Yes.
technically.
I have
Yeah.
to whisper it though, but I mean, I can whisper.
It's a million words.
Okay, that's such bullshit. So I guess maybe the intelligence check. I've actually done this before. Can the guards hear me whispering? I've been very quiet.
You've been very quiet.
I've been
Make a
very-
stealth check.
quiet. Okay, I've been very quiet.
Okay.
19.
Okay. Yep. You think you're being successfully quiet.
Okay, I'm going to go to the far end of the room.
Alright.
Farther away from the door. Just to be clear, I'm not going to far end of the room by the door. That would be dumb. That would not be a smart
Intelligence checks.
That
No, it's
That's the thing
perfect.
to do. That would be a dummy pants thing to do. I'm gonna go to the other end,
Dummy pants.
far away.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm gonna point my finger. I don't know, like the radius, range, not
120
range.
feet.
Well, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
that's like
in
the range.
it's in that point direction.
Okay, but people have like shoulders. So
Yeah.
like, I could point at you like that,
Yeah.
or I could point at you like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
be like, why are you there? Why are you guys? Why are you there? Why are you there? Like all the way. He's probably not there. Because this only affects the person that
Yeah, you're
I'm
saying
trying
this
to.
Yeah. So you're pointing out.
I'm pointing, yes, to the room, because it can go through walls and stuff.
Yeah. And you just go in a full circle.
Yes, is he in the range?
Not where you point, no.
Nothing you can point at.
No.
Rats. Well, that's too bad. Unless you just respond.
You'd be like,
Hey, okay, you can respond to this message.
you might not know.
You can respond to this message by whispering.
Nothing. In the meantime,
Yeah, I didn't think about this.
about 30 minutes go by before Dagon enters again. He sits down, but your back is to the door. He just sits. Your fiancé is a very interesting man. Know what he told me?
Again, I wasn't there.
That's unfortunate. It seems as though you're the one who's in charge of paying your manservant.
Bodyguard, don't be insulting.
Bodyguard. So why was it that you couldn't tell me his wage?
It's not like a daily wage, hourly, monthly.
But you would have a knowledge of the numbers,
I do.
and yet you're not able to disclose those within
Give
detail.
him what he needs.
That's not specific enough. And unfortunately not specific enough to save you. Here's what's going to happen. You're either going to help us help track down this individual, whether or not you're working with the Willends bars or not, or you get to spend the rest of the afternoon and the evening in a cell.
I'm not looking at him, I'm just still looking up at the
I'm allowing you to make the choice. You can help us identify some members of the Willends Spires. You can offer your services as a sellsword, as you have alluded to. Or you can contemplate whether or not you actually want to come forth with the actual truth. Not as the truth as you know it, not the facts as you know it, but what others know to be the truth. You had some time to think about it. What say you? You hear the chair just barely squeak as he leans back into it.
And I'll slowly kind of lean back a little bit as I'm still gazing up into the window. I suppose coming out of retirement sounds like my best option.
Retirement from whom?
A past life.
Are you referring to your work with the
of
11
these
Spires?
11 Spires. I have never previously worked with the 11 spiders. I have only heard.
Interesting how
Technically,
you
that's not a lie
added.
because I have never previously worked with them. FYI.
Interesting that
To
you
my
added,
knowledge.
interesting how you added the word previously. It implies that you could currently be working with them.
Could currently know of them.
You said you didn't previously work with them. Make a deception check.
I really need to paint these dice. Ew, that's only a plus. How do I get my deception up? Give me a magic item with deception. Don't do that. I already have a magic item on mine. 16. It's not good enough for him. I mean, look, 2 roll natural 20s for him. Plus 3. This is trash. I need new dice. Oh my dice.
Where?
What?
Are you currently working with 11 spires?
Says Sophia to herself, Talavin has not spoken yet.
Hold on.
So the contract says the blood contract.
Yeah, I don't have all the deets on the
It says that you can't put them in harm's way. It never said you could talk about
Will you remind me what it said because I did not write it down word for word, I don't think.
It breaks down to you will not willingly attack or
So technically it
hurt.
didn't say I couldn't say that I was working for them.
No.
Did it imply that if I did mention it, I could potentially be breaking the blood oath and die immediately?
You've never worked with blood contract before, so
But I know that if I break the contract, I would die.
yes.
So by therefore
It
I would
doesn't.
know.
It doesn't say in there that you can't talk about the 11 spires.
it. Where's in the blood contract?
It doesn't say that you can't talk about them.
It just says you can't attack them.
It says that you cannot willingly act against one of the
Okay,
members
turn
of
this
the
around. I can turn this
You
around.
probably couldn't be like, hey, they're out in the woods, go attack them now.
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to do that.
Because that would probably...
Okay, so what did he question? What was his question? Sorry. I'm not.
Are you currently working with 11 spires?
Yes.
You got no.
I think at that point, like, it's gonna be a yes. Like, if I just lie, then he's just gonna know that I'm lying. And
I'm fine with the first honest thing you've to say.
not true. Super insight.
Hmm.
No, that was Sophia. Sorry. But that's all I said. I don't say anything else.
Interesting. You see him. Oh no, you get your back to him. Yeah, no.
But I'm listening. I don't know if he shifts or anything.
He doesn't shift.
He stabs you.
For a minute, you don't hear anything. You are tempted to look back because
Okay,
there's
wait,
just this silence. You're free to go. He gets up and he walks out.